And as a representative of Bahrain Center for Human Rights, I would like to bring to your attention the ongoing and the serious human rights violation the government of Bahrain has carried out this year. We have witnessed and monitored extensive restriction of the right of freedom of expression, assembly, and free movement. My intent to provide you with an update of what's going on lately in the term of human rights in Bahrain. In the past few months, the government of Bahrain has continued its crackdown on individuals involved within the human rights sector. Civil society member, oppositional politician, journalist, blogger, social media activist, human rights defender, and clerics have become target and a victim of harassment, intimidation, arrest, and prosecution of the government. Anyone who opposed or criticized the ruling family or the state is at risk of facing reprisal measures. We have observed an alarming rise in the number of people who have been arrested or sentenced to prison terms. To give you an idea of the situation, I will share with you few numbers. Since January, BCHR documented 1,153 arrests, including 186 children and 21 women. More than 1,065 people were sent to prison this year to serve a total of 9,726 years as a total of all the sentence. Among these, the countries in the Middle East, Bahrain has by far the highest prison population rate. At least 300 individuals have seen their citizenship revoked through administration decrees by the king or the Minister of Interior or court decision. Until today, there is about 18 internet users detained for charges related to online freedom of expression. Of course, the case BCHR president and a friend of mine, Nabeel Rajab, might face 15 years in jail over a case of a tweet and retweet. He had been arrested in June 2016 and he has been kept in detention ever since. Rajab was charged because he talked about the torture in Bahraini prison. And yeah, he was talking about the torture in Bahraini prison, in Joe prison in particular. His health condition has worsened while he was detained, and his trial has kept on being postponed. The last postponed was due to the lack of evidence against him. Despite this fact, the court refused to release him. By now, I almost fear that the authority will keep on postponing the trial. Social media activist, as you mentioned, Faisal Hayat was arrested on 9 of October 2016 over remarks he posted online. Bahraini court sentenced him to 3 months for illegally defamatory tweet. He is currently in jail. Another case is Ghada Jamshir, human rights defender. Ghada is an award-winning activist, writer, blogger, and president of Women Petition Committee who have been advocating for a reform of Bahraini family laws. She was targeted by the Bahraini authority for having illegally tweeted about the corruption of one member of the ruling family. Now she is also in jail. The government of Bahrain repeated harassing Nabeel, Faisal, and Ghada on other online activists demonstrate the ongoing criminalization of free expression in Bahrain. The high number of the detainees in Bahrain is a clear indication that the government wants to regulate and adjust people's opinion, telling them what to do and most importantly, what not to do or what not to say. Travel ban has been also a common measure that the authority have been taking to silence the voice of civil society. Prior to the 32 session of UNHRC, the Bahrain Authority imposed a travel ban on at least 23 individuals, including human rights defender. This includes the entire Bahraini delegation who was supporting to travel to Geneva. The same they repeated again on September the 33 session. The entire delegation also was banned from travel, which they are almost 30. This include also BCHR member Nabeel Rajab, the head of international relations in our center, Ainas Oud, head of documentation, Ahmed Al-Saffar, and also Ibtisam Al-Saigh, Ibrahim Al-Dimistani, and the lawyer Muhammad Al-Tajir, and many other activists. The government of Bahrain also targeted the politician in Bahrain, member of political society, which is Al-Wafaq Society. Sheikh Ali Salman is in jail for his activities, and Fadl Abbas, he's a former Secretary General in a society called Al-Wahdawi, and also Ibrahim Sharif, he's a former Wa'ad political society generally sector. He was targeted by the government of Bahrain for his political and peaceful activities. This intensified crackdown on civil society space and figures in Bahrain proves that the Bahraini government is not only ignoring its obligation to address the human rights situation, but it's even worsening the situation in Bahrain, especially on civil society and human rights defender. In this year also, Bahrain Foreign Minister openly flaunted the authority of the Human Rights Commissioner by saying, "We will not waste our time listening to the words of a High Commissioner of a Human Rights who is powerless." Almost on a weekly basis, we received news on a Twitter user who have been arrested and convinced to prison for insulting the king or criticizing the government. And the question, how many more silencing campaign we will have to live through before we wrap our conscience around what's truly happening in Bahrain? How many more people will have to be arrested before we start seeing a change? Without concrete efforts from the international community, it's quite hard to see any substantial improvement in Bahrain. I invite everyone to join us in this fight for freedom and urge the German government to immediately and publicly call on Bahrain government to comply with its human rights obligation, unconditionally release the prisoner of conscience, and guarantee the fundamental rights of free expression, assembly, religion, and associate without any reprisal.